Happy Friday, everybody, and happy Father's Day to all the Disney dads out there. Hope you have a great weekend. Today, Pam and Ricky join me, and we talk about what we learned down at Walt Disney World last week during our trip. Pam and myself, well, we got to experience Geo 82, the new adults-only lounge at Epcot. We talk about the drinks we had, the small eats, and what the atmosphere is like. Let me just tell you, we loved it. Pam got to do a fireworks experience there, so we talk about that. I also talk about my first stay at the Contemporary and why, man, I have been missing out all of these years, and why you might want to consider this resort for your next stay. We also talk about some cool kids summer activities that, you know, geared towards families and kids, but you might want to take advantage of this even if you're traveling as an adult. This and much more coming your way on today's show. Don't forget, today's podcast is always brought to you proudly by the Magic for Less Travel. We would love to help you plan your next Disney adventure for no additional cost to you. Check out all the details today over at themagicforless.com. Please also use our Amazon affiliate link. It's beourguestpodcast.com/Amazon. Just click through there and it supports the show with each and every purchase. And finally, thank you so very much to our Patreon supporters. You guys make the show possible. Couldn't do it without your support. You can support us as well, just $5 a month. And for that support, you get a bonus show called Mike in the Midwest. Come over this weekend. We'd love to have you. Patreon.com/BeOurGuestPodcast.
Ready to take a trip to the world? You found the Be Our Guest Walt Disney World Trip Planning Podcast. This is where your memories come front and center on our podcast stage.
Welcome to episode 2709 of the Be Our Guest Walt Disney World Trip Planning Podcast. I'm your host, Mike Rallman from BeOurGuestPodcast.com and one of the senior agents over at the Magic for Less Travel. Happy Friday to you. Hope you're getting ready for a great weekend, and shout out to all the Disney dads tuned in. This is our weekend. That's right. Hope you get all the Mickey ears, all the Disney gift cards, because you can use those for all the good stuff on those future Disney cruises, Walt Disney World trips, Disneyland trips. Think about all the good stuff those turn into. Those turn into, let's see, Mickey ice cream sandwiches, Mickey ringer teas. Yes, there's a cool one at the Emporium right now. I think it's just kind of plain. It's a gray Mickey. There's a new one. I'm sporting it right now. If you're tuned in live, I love it because it's just a gray t-shirt with Mickey. It doesn't have to be gaudy all the time. It can be kind of simple. When I saw it, I'm like, speaks to me. It's going in the bag. It's going back to St. Louis. Love it. Doesn't have to be so loud all the time. So hope you get what you're looking for, and that's probably just spending time with the kids and your family. So happy Father's Day to all the Disney dads out there. We appreciate you always being a part of our community. So let's talk some Disney. We're going to talk about what we learned at Walt Disney World last week. Ricky was just down there very recently as well. So we're going to talk about all the stuff we're seeing at Walt Disney World to make your next trip even more awesome. But what's awesome is that you being here today. We appreciate you. So joining us, speaking of Ricky, from a DisneyWorldAfterAll.com and the Mouse for Less, she's here. Happy Friday. What's up, Ricky?
Happy Friday and happy Father's Day to my one and only. He's a fantastic dad who, just adores his little girl. So I guess today is Donuts with Dad at school. So I'm going to guess he's going to get some donuts this morning. Yes. And I guess I should probably do something for Father's Day. So
every time we had Donuts with Dad, I heard this sound. It was a wonderful day at Wedgwood Elementary. And then a lot of times I went with my nephews and did donuts with Uncle Mike. You know, because anytime I could sacrifice for my nephews also.
You absolutely could sacrifice a donut or two. 100%. Yeah. So, happy Father's Day to my amazing, wonderful husband. And I guess I should also then give a shout out to my awesome dad as well, who's a fantastic papa. So happy Father's Day to both of them.
I should probably shout out my dad too. Shout out DJ Doty, who got this whole thing off the ground. So the best Rams radio engineer in the world, Doty.
Yay!
shout out. Happy Father's Day to my dad. All right, Pam Forrester Coner, the Magic for Less Travel. Happy Friday. What's going on?
I'll add my happy Father's Day to all the dads, to my husband Steve, to my two dads. I think that used to be a show.
I'll say, yeah,
right?
was that
Yes,
one?
it did.
Great 80s sitcom. There you go.
Exactly. So I'm fortunate. I get a couple. So anyways, all good. But yes, glad to be back home for a little bit. And, you know, it's like right now I feel like I'm like work. Then I'm gone. Then I'm back to work. Then gone. So lots of good stuff going on.
So a lot to cover, a little bit of time here on a Friday. We'll be taking questions on Sunday night's live call-in show. So do give us a call Sunday night, 7 o'clock Eastern. We'll have the phone lines open. If you have any questions about any of this stuff or want to add to it. But we were down this past week doing a little Cool Kids Summer research and some other stuff we got to experience. But well, I think the biggest thing people are curious about, because we have like uber Disney fans, right? Let's talk Geo82 right off the get, because that's kind of the new thing. Of course, that's not Cool Kids Summer. That's adults only. But I got to be honest, it was awesome. As a Disney fan, dude, I was like, oh my God, we get to go in here. Like, for one thing, here, funny story, right? So we're down there, there's like 8 of us from the agency kind of hanging out, doing a bunch of research. We did a lot of divide and conquer, right? We'd come together for a minute, and then we'd all go different ways to different parks and get some pictures, video, stuff to share, you know, find out information like, what's this experience about? What's that about? You know, you go see the Little Mermaid show, you go see this, you know, thing, go to that resort. So and then we came back together for meals and, you know, debrief together, which was awesome. I loved it. It was a great experience getting to see everybody. But so we're all meeting at Geo82, right? And I'm like, dude, like I was talking with Ben because he's my buddy, right? And so we're like, dude, we get to go to Geo82. Like, how awesome is this, right? And like, oh, yeah, this is pretty awesome, right? And, you know, I'm like, let's do this. So we're like, we got to meet up at like 12:55 or something's the reservation time. So, you know, we're always like super early. So like I'm like just wandering around Spaceship Earth, and I see him. And so I see him, and we're kind of by the Walt statue thing. And I'm like, dude, I don't even know where the entrance is to this thing. Like I see the windows. I think that's it. I'm pretty sure that's the windows right there. I'm like, dude, I can't figure how we get into this thing. Funny thing is, like, we ask all these cast members, none of the cast members know how to get in the place either. Like, we're asking people, they're like, where's the entrance to Geo82? They're like, I'm not sure. Let me see if I can find it. We asked like 3 people. Like, nobody knew how to get into the dang place. We're like looking around, like, it had opened the day before. I'm like, there's not it. Like, what do you do? I do a secret knock, and like, you know, like some shingle's going to open. Like, it was crazy. So that was the funniest thing ever. Like, and then finally we get a text from Steve. He's like, you got to be on the side that, like, if you're walking towards Moana, it's on that side. So at least we're on the right side there as you're walking back towards the World Showcase. Then we're like, oh, there it is. But it's the most inconspicuous place to find if you're not in the know. So, Pam, tell us what your initial thoughts of Geo82 were once you get on the right side of Spaceship, the correct
once
side
you
of
get
Spaceship
to go
Earth.
in.
Exactly. It was the craziest thing because we couldn't find it.
Yeah, it's actually when you're getting off the Spaceship Earth, you're going to walk past the entrance if you go out that way. The entrance is right there, sort of near Project Tomorrow or whatever they call it. So it's odd, but like from the very beginning, I think we were all just sort of like, ooh,
yeah,
you know what I mean?
Like, I know. It's like, is this happening? Yes, let's go.
Yes, and it's like, is it themed? Why, yes.
It's heavily themed.
It is super themed.
Yeah, it's not lightly themed. It's heavily themed. It's everything I was hoping for. Yeah.
Yeah, me too. Really, as a huge Epcot fan, you know, from the moment you either walk up the stairs or go up the elevator, even before then, you're really getting good, you know, Epcot vibes. I will tell you, the geodesic sphere, it makes an appearance about 100 million different ways. It just is a really great location, and it felt so awesome to have an adults only space in the world. It just didn't you think?
Yes. And you're greeted, you know, as soon as you go in with like a hot towel or, you know,
cold towel.
Cold towel.
Oh.
Yeah, Yeah, to kind of, wipe your face and
it was scented.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh my goodness.
Dude, it was kind of like, am I going to a bar? Am I going to the Grand Floridian? Like, what's going on here? Because I'm not fancy at all.
Yes.
I'm like, so I had to kind of watch everybody else. Like, okay, what are they doing with the towel? Okay, cool. Like, everybody's wiping their faces, their hands. Okay, good. Okay. Gave it back. But I did give it a whiff. It smelled really good.
Yeah.
I was like, after being in Epcot gets you, a little stinky. So they want to make sure you were cleansed before you went into their nice, fancy, brand new bar. So I get it. They're trying to make you think you're fancy, but I know what they're doing. They don't want you to dirty up their new place. So that's how it is. So there's like a little sitting area. You kind of go out there waiting for your name to be called, and great artwork out there, like lots of monorails,
so
Spaceship Earth. I mean, as a Disney fan, you get your camera ready because you're going to be taking lots of pictures in just the sitting area before you go in.
For sure. Yeah, I loved the sitting area, and it really features a lot of like gold and silver colors. And that one of the cast members had told us that Spaceship Earth, one of the original concept art pieces for it was going to be gold, not silver. And I was like, right? Who knew? So there's lots of gold and silver touches really throughout everything.
Yeah, I heard Burl Ives was one of the original Imagineers, and he just kept singing silver and gold like all the time.
Stop.
Yeah, and it was gonna be, and it was gonna look like a snowman, like
No.
silver and gold. That was gonna be awesome.
Get stuck in your head.
Christmas in July, baby. It's not July yet. Okay.
Or June.
They're June. I know. Well, people sometimes get behind on the shows. Somebody will be listening to this in July. Anyway, so it's the beauty of a podcast. So when you go in, when they call your name and you're like, it's happening, let's go. You go through a tunnel, which I thought was really cool. There's like a little tunnel thing, and you kind of hang a right, and then they explain as you kind of go in. They have a kind of a display case of like bourbons and all the spirits and all that stuff. So I don't understand all that stuff really too much, but I mean they kind of give you a preview of that. A lot of that stuff is exclusive right to Geo82.
Right. Well, and to Disney. So there's actually some Disney signature bourbons, I think, in particular, or whiskeys that are there when you go in, and they have sort of a display there, and they're sort of showing some of the Disney wines and drinks and whatnot. So you sort of get to walk past that case. And then you are into the main restaurant, and it like opens up, and you have such a great view from there. I just was sort of blown away by that, weren't you? I mean, like I knew what the view would be, but it was better than I expected.
Yeah, totally. I mean, because and plus when you're going in too, if you look down, it's the fiber optic ground that was back in Future World that they brought it back. It's the fiber optic ground as you're walking in. It's so cool. Like I was like, oh my god, that was what was outside of Interventions. It's back. It's right there. So I was sold, and it's also the background music is playing kind of like the old Interventions loop. So I mean, they had me at basically the Interventions loop. I'm like, yeah, let's go. But yeah, you walk in. It's a grand bar. The lighting fixtures, like the chandeliers. When you're walking around, the perspective of them is hidden Mickeys. Like you'll see kind of the groups of three. And so as you see them, you'll see like the Mickey head. You can see them in the pictures, obviously, if you see on social media. But it's very like black and silver and lots of, the triangles, the geodesic spheres are everywhere. The bar is pretty large, I would say. Maybe it seats like 15 at the bar-ish. Maybe 10 to 12, 15. I didn't count. But cool looking bar there with everything displayed behind it. And then you got some tables, and you got some tables right up on the window. We got to sit right up on the window. Wasn't extreme. I mean, it was full obviously when we were in there, but it didn't seem loud. You could hear the background music playing. It's a great place to socialize. I mean, it's a great place just to, get in there and hang out with your buds. We had a good time.
Yeah, I agree. I felt the same way. We didn't feel rushed. Mm-hmm. They weren't rushing us. There are food and drink options. For those who don't want a drink with alcohol, there are non-alcoholic drinks. There were a couple different like mocktails that were available, or zero proof, I guess, what I would say drinks. They had soft drinks as well. But yeah, I we tried some different food items. The thing was, a lot of their glassware is really themed too. I felt like everything was themed, and the glassware sort of reminded me of like Spaceship Earth, different ones, all of that. So I enjoyed like all these little touches. Like they were going for a theme. They were leaning in hard to the theme. Everything that they could theme, they pretty much were theming.
Yes. So Tanja's asking, what was my favorite thing? So I had two things. I had the kind of famous, I think it's kind of one of their lead-in things was the old-fashioned. It was the butter something old-fashioned. And I mean, it was amazing. Like it tasted so smooth. And when they come and they present it, they explain everything that goes into it. I'm not a big old-fashioned person, so I don't know exactly about the bourbons and all that stuff. All I know is it tasted great. The ice cube, if you look at my Instagram, the ice cube had a geodesic sphere, had basically Spaceship Earth like stamped right into the ice cube. And then when she poured the bourbon or the drink over the ice cube, it stood out. So have your camera ready because it's awesome. Because, it obviously turns kind of that golden brown. It was so cool looking, but it tasted, amazing. Like it was so stinking good. So the old fashioned is out of this world. And I had this little ahi tuna platter with 4 pieces of ahi tuna. So, and see, people didn't know I liked, some of the people I was with, like, oh, Mike won't get anything here. No, you don't know.
I said.
You knew, but Jocelyn didn't. I love ahi tuna because I always get that on the cruise. What's the one, Enchanted Rose? What's it called? Enchanted Garden. They have that ahi tuna that I just destroy. I love it. But, oh, my gosh, it was super tasty. So I got that. I know that Ben next to me got the Bourbon Flight, and he really enjoyed that. Pam, would you have it? Because people are asking like what we got and stuff.
The drink I got was the first one I got was the Electron, and it sounded interesting, and I was glad I got it because it was really good.
Oh, you got to tell the onion drink.
I know.
Oh my gosh, that was so weird.
All I want. So the Electron had mezcal, carrot, cinnamon, lime, orange bitters.
Carrot?
Yes, like a carrot flavoring. Okay. And pink peppercorn, and it was really good. It had a little bit of spice on it. I really enjoyed it. The second drink I got because I just I've had savory martinis before. This was the first time I ever had this, and it was a caramelized leek martini. And it was so funny. The server was like, it is very onion forward.
Yes.
And yes, it was very onion forward.
Yes.
But
because somebody at our table was going to order, she just kept saying it is very, she did not, she was like kind of saying like, don't order it because
don't order this, but I can't tell you not to order this. So.
She said it is very onion forward. She just,
but you tasted it. It didn't taste bad.
No, I don't know, man. That thing was, it was like sucking on an onion, man. It was
very onion forward.
It was the weirdest.
It was very onion forward.
It was like I could not drink that thing. Like that thing was wild. Like
it was a gin martini, and of course it had vermouth. So I think when you get a savory drink that has vermouth, it tastes more potent than it actually is.
That thing was super potent, man. I just took a little sip, and I'm like, whoo, man, mercy.
I know. And it has a big pickled onion in it. So, it was a very unique drink. I'm not saying that I wouldn't recommend it for everyone to get because it's very unique.
It is super unique, yeah.
If you like that kind of thing, then it's kind of a cool thing to have. At our table, we sort of split a few different appetizers. We did the tuna, and it was really good. We got the fungi flatbread, which is just mushroom flatbread. Again, it was good. We got the charcuterie, which was really good too. It had just a bunch of different things with it. They also have a crab gâteau, which I've heard is really, really good, and a hummus as well. So there's not a ton of different things to choose from, but it was, I think that we walked away like not hungry. Like it was a great like light meal, I feel.
I would like to see some small desserts too kind of come into this because it's always nice to have like a drink and dessert too, so I feel like that would be nice to see in the future.
Maybe they will. I don't know.
I prepared myself. I wouldn't have my like little final wrap pizza before this. I knew if I was having alcohol,
oh my gosh, yes, of course.
Yeah, so I was like, okay, I'm thinking this through. I'm gonna have a wrap pizza because I'm gonna have a drink, so I gotta have something in my belly. So.
You gotta have the bread, a lot of bread to soak that up. Yes.
So I was like,
yes,
this is the perfect ending. Like I'm having my final little pepperoni pizza, the old fashioned, and then I had a little ahi tuna. It was the perfect combination. It was great. It was so there you go. Can't do that combo anymore. Yeah, it was a cool place. Everybody, hard ADR to get. Like it'll simmer down after a while. Everything after every while. But yeah. Anybody that's a theme park fan, especially an Epcot fan, should experience it once. It's akin to like a Space 220 experience. Everybody needs to do it at least once. What about you? Did the fireworks part? Tell us about the fireworks thing though, because I didn't get to do that.
So we did the fireworks thing later on, a few days later, and we really had a great time. And I will say, I've mentioned this a few times on the podcast, but Steve likes the dessert party, the fireworks thing, because it's like, you have a place to be, you know that you're going to see them. In the Magic Kingdom, you have a location where you're going to be, right? You then can do the desserts or whatnot. It's just a lot less like standing there, waiting, whatnot. And this was absolutely that. You go in about an hour before the fireworks start. You get your location. We were talking to the server. There's actually relatively few seats available for it in the evening. I'm talking like 23, 25, that's something crazy. Like that each evening. They're trying to keep, the seating locations in the restaurant, the best ones reserved for those
but the rest of the restaurant, is it open during the...
It is.
Okay,
yes,
okay.
It is. It is. So you can still go there during that. But not every seat is going to have a great view. At the same time, the fireworks are high, and this is a fireworks experience. It is not a luminous experience, because from where you are not going to be able to see all the projections and all of that happening there in the middle of the lake. Like that's not going to be, but it does say that. It calls it a fireworks experience, and you're able to see the fireworks. And I think the thing that I loved maybe the most about this is most of the time when you see the fireworks at Epcot, you're sort of close in, right? You're seeing them right there on the lake. Being able to be sort of far away and sort of have more of a bird's eye view of what was happening was really interesting, and actually a perspective that I haven't had. This is like the one location where you can do that. And so we really enjoyed that. Of course, they piped the music in. It's, a really cool experience, but included in the fireworks experiences, there's a champagne that they have that they're pouring throughout. They also have the old fashioned is available. There's two other drinks. There's a margarita and an old fashioned that is available too. And that's included in your, in the price of this. There also is food, and it includes the charcuterie plate. It had some deviled eggs that were really good. And it had what might be my favorite, which is a pimento cheese macaron.
Oh my God,
which
I love
was
pimento cheese.
So freaking good. I wanted a box of those to take home.
Was it
I really did.
It was savory?
It was savory, yes. It was so good. Really, really good. I know. I'm going to be looking up the savory macaron.
God, you're selling me on this because, seriously, like the old fashioned was so stinking good. And you're talking about deviled eggs and pimento cheese stuff. Holy
yes.
God.
And then the meat and cheese.
Epcot. Oh my God.
That was really good. And then it did have desserts, and the desserts were, one of them was that bomb kuchen.
Oh, shut up. They did not have a bomb.
It was just a little bit of it.
Shut up. Now you're killing me, because that is my favorite thing at Epcot. Oh, they're totally marketing this to me.
It was that, a chocolate covered strawberry, and some fancy chocolates too. So
okay.
I know, right?
Oh my gosh. GO82.
Mike, you're going to see Mike. Mike will be like, I am now paying for the GO82 experience.
Where's Mike? He is not getting any souvenirs. He is not getting an annual pass anymore.
Right.
But he is going to see 5 minutes worth of fireworks and stuff his face full of bomb kuchkins.
Well, and one of the best parts of this whole thing was, you know how sometimes there's a summer night where it seems to get more and more humid and hot as the night goes on?
Yes.
Been there.
It was one of those nights, but guess where we were? In the very well air-conditioned GO82, and we got to watch all the crowds sort of filter out while we sat there. This was, I'm saying, as they say, this didn't suck. So.
I will say too, so when we were up there too, Ben and I were on the glass, right? So you're like looking down over basically like where the Walt statue is. So you see all the people between like Creation Shop and like kind of going into Moana. So we like told each other, it's kind of like the like what God must see when he looks down on earth. Like, because you're looking down at these people. So what we started doing was like narrating what people were saying to each other. We were like writing everybody's story. So we're like, this couple was like kind of scrambling, like, so we're like making up the story, like what's their story, like, okay, because like went together, they talked to each other, then like the husband took, or I don't know if they're husband wife, but boyfriend girlfriend, like that one guy took off kind of like, he was like, flustered, so like we made up a story, then he came back together, like so that's kind of a fun game you can play.
It's Supremo people watching. 100%
people watching it. It's so
Clearly.
good. Oh yeah, it is so fun.
Yeah,
especially
and it
with
is
a
an
drink in your hand.
expansive space.
Yeah, with a drink in your hand, it's 10 times better. Yeah,
100%. Yeah, I agree. Like, we loved it. It was pricey, and I will absolutely do it again. I mean, I think it was just one of those things that made Steve really happy. Like, he's like, I didn't have to be out there in the heat. I got to see a pretty cool version of the fireworks. The music's piped in, and I didn't have to fight people to leave. All this is a win.
Yes.
So
100%.
He's definitely a fan.
Yes.
Okay, so GO82, check it out when you get a chance. So Pam, what else, like, because we want to get things in here. So I tease this on Wednesday. I want to make sure we get this out here. So Cool Kids Summer, we've talked a lot about stuff happening there. But one thing we learned is that if you're staying at one of those 4 select resorts this summer, that would be Pop Century, Caribbean Beach, Art of Animation, and Wilderness Lodge. Which one of these does not? Like, I don't understand, but I don't need to. One of those 4 resorts. One of the things we learned while we were down there is go to the check-in desk when you arrive at the resort. So why is that, Pam? Let everybody know that, because we have the online check-in, go straight to your room, which is an advantage a lot of times. But why should folks go to the check-in desk?
Because if you have kids, they have a Cool Kid Summer bag. And basically what's included into it is some Cool Kid Summer luggage tags, some Blueies, like stickers and buttons, some little activity book. I mean, this is probably not going to appeal to adults. No. But some activity books, some specific things. There's going to be a map, a Cool Kid Summer map for that resort. There are also Cool Kid Summer specific maps for the different parks and whatnot available, but they really are doing some cool things for Cool Kid Summer. I think that we were all really impressed about the things that we saw, activities, all kinds of things going on at the resorts. Each of the participating resorts has a little lending library in the lobby. I was blown away by that. I just thought it was such a really, like, a cute thing. Oftentimes you don't get a lot of luggage space to bring books. So the fact that you can go to your lobby and pick up a book, they're going to have special craft activities and other activities for the kids. I was telling Mike and Ricky before, they have little kid-sized shopping carts in some of the shopping locations. I know, right? It was just adorable. Just so many different things. And I think it really highlights one of the things that we talk about all the time is that the Walt Disney World resorts add something to your vacation, right? I mean, it's just sort of a way to be surrounded by the magic. And this takes it even a step further. They're really doing a lot of things, a lot of activities specifically for this. And I'm just sort of blown away by it. When you get there, make sure that you ask for an activities mapper, take a picture of it in the lobby so that you can see all the things that are going on. There are also special scavenger hunts that are going on at the parks. They're on the back of the little Cool Kid Summer family guide. For the resorts and the parks. Just lots of really cool things that make it kind of Cool Kid Summer, for lack of a better word on that. But yes.
And I'll say something too that I saw when I was at the studios, which it's geared obviously towards Cool Kids Summer, but I enjoyed it because it brought back something that here on the podcast we've been talking about. Oh, we missed this. We've been saying it for a decade now, and it's Streetmosphere. Yeah. And this is basically, it is Streetmosphere kind of thrown under the Cool Kids Summer kind of idea. And what it was, so I went in and, well, quick story. I went in to see the first Little Mermaid show that was showing that day. Loved it. The update is great. You know, I'm one that I like the old stuff. You guys hear me talk about that all the time. Like, I do not like change. I love the old Little Mermaid show. I love the old lasers. I loved how it looked. There was a lot of the old stuff still in the new show. One of the things when I saw it, I was like, oh my heart, the old dancing turtle, like marionette dancing turtle, dude, he makes an appearance. He's still in the show. I'm like, that guy survived. I love it. There's still those, still some nods from the old show, but there's a lot of, new stuff. There's a good just mix of old and new and it's still the same old story from the old, like that. Cause that was Paige's like movie. Like she loved Ariel like that. It was great until King Triton said, I'm going to, the only problem is how much I'm going to miss her. I'm like, stop, stop, dude. Mallory's going to be a senior. Knock it off. Quit with that. King Triton, we don't need this right now. But other than that, it was a great show. And so I loved it. So I get spit out of like the Little Mermaid show, right? They spit you out right into the animation courtyard. Well, what's animation courtyard been for the last 5 years? Kind of just a big dead area, right?
Yes.
I get spit out into this. And bam, there's people like it's alive. I'm like, what's going on? So I get spit out, and there's this like basically a Streetmosphere character with Goofy and Donald Duck, like there right as we're getting out, and he's starting a little skit, a little show. He's doing a magic show, and he's encouraging families, kids, everybody to gather around. They've got kind of a rope set up so you can get around the rope like his little area. And he's doing these magic tricks, and he's spinning plates on his finger and on these sticks, and he's got kids coming up, and they're holding the sticks and they're holding the plates spinning. And it's like a little 10-minute show. But the thing is, like, the characters, Goofy's interacting and Donald's interacting with the kids and doing the magic with this guy who used to be, I'm pretty sure was a Streetmosphere guy. But I mean, it was so fun. You don't have to be a kid to enjoy it. Like, I was clapping and laughing. I'm like, dude, where'd the coin go? Like, it was in a napkin 2 seconds. Like, I was like, dude, is this for 4-year-olds? You're like, I'm 50. Like, where'd it go? I'm like, dude,
he's doing magic.
He's got magic going.
I guess it's Cool Kid Summer, but I'm a dad. I don't know what happened to the coin. Like, dude, what's up? But like, it was, and everybody was cheering and everybody's having a good time. And like, the show was like 10, 12 minutes. Kids were there. Everybody was cheering. And then he show's over. He goes away. But the characters were there. So it was kind of a good combination of live entertainment, character interaction, families having fun together. It was great. As soon as that was over, boom, this little 3-person troupe of jump ropers in these like neon uniforms comes out. They start doing like double dutch, but then like immediately after doing a couple cool tricks, they just take out a single rope and they let the kids jump rope with them, like, and jump through, do a couple single. Yeah. So it's interactive. They get to not only watch some cool tricks, but they get to actively participate. And at the same time, Goofy and Donald are back. They pop back out from some door and they're like encouraging the kids to like get in at the right time. They're interacting with the kids while they're jumping and waiting their turn to get into the jump rope. So, it was the parents are all eating it up, right? Because they're taking pictures of their kids like jumping a rope and like Goofy's in the background, Donald's pushing them in. It just, what it did was it took Animation Courtyard, a place that just was kind of depressing, to be honest, over the past 5 years. It's like, what's happened to this? It's like, it's not its past glory. And all of a sudden there's like upbeat music, there's kids jumping rope, there's characters, there's families having fun. Streetmosphere was there, like, it was entertaining, it was exciting, it was upbeat, it was just people having a good, there were like bubbles blowing everywhere. I mean, it was just like a party. And this was like at 10:30, 11 o'clock in the morning. It was amazing. Like, this is what the studio, because that area is supposed to be for kids, and that is but it was families having fun together. But I mean, I would say if you're down there and you don't have kids, go in, because like, we love live entertainment, and it was live entertainment. You could have fun even without kids. It is geared towards kids, but I don't think it's exclusively for just only kids. I had a good time watching it. So
I agree. And there's a location like this in each one of the parks. There is, the whole Big Top Treats over at the Magic Kingdom. Animal Kingdom has one. Epcot has, of course, Goofy Core, stuff like that. But I think that's the thing I walked away with too, Mike, that it was really entertainment with the characters, but it was so much more than a character interaction. It wasn't your kid running up there with the autograph book and then getting the canned photo and then moving on. Mm-hmm. This was really an opportunity for kids and adults, like for everyone to sort of like have a true and real interaction with those characters, do something fun. It was so much more than just entertainment. It was really interactive, and I loved that. And all the kids loved it too. Like there were parents who sort of were like, okay, we gotta go, and like you could see, like kids didn't want to go.
Exactly. Like we got to go ride Slinky Dog. No, right. Man, this is too cool. Like I want to do the jump rope thing. Like no, we didn't come here for you to jump rope. You did that at recess back. We got you out of school. Like it's summer break. You've been jumping rope at recess. Like let's go ride slow. So, no, I want to do this. It's like it's the weirdest thing, right? It's so funny. Yeah, but it's like it brings an area. Like Goofy Core over at Epcot, right? I mean, it's just a place that's a flex space, but it's being turned into energy for the summer, and it'll be turned into something else when the next festival comes around. But it's good use for right now. Like, and I'd like the kids to get their moment. It's fun.
Yeah,
families get their moment. Yeah. So Ricky, let me. So you have a kid in this age. We just have old kids, Pam and I, at this point. Kids that are just costing us a ton of money and lots of headaches. Yeah. But I mean, what's your perspective on this? Because you got one that's right in this demographic. So what are you seeing? What are you liking?
I do like all of this. I think that it's like you said, it's bringing back something that has been missing in the parks, and that's those unexpected things that you just happen upon that help to make the trip so much better. That's one of those things that, with like the loss of the Streetmosphere characters, and the fact that they're not doing as much in, say, Epcot as they used to, or things like that. Like this kind of stuff is so huge, and it really does help to make the vacation better. And it brings me back to like my childhood, when you could come across a character and you didn't have to wait in line, and you just like kind of happened upon them. I love that in the Goofy Core area, they're doing that where they lift the parachute.
Yeah, it's like the 70s, man. No kids were more excited for a parachute than us. Yeah.
That was my favorite game in gym class, was the parachute game. Like I loved it when it was that time to play that, and so that's one of my favorite things. And so like maybe now when I'm down there, I can show that to Lucy. That'll be so cool, and she can play with Goofy and have fun, and it doesn't have to be structured, and that part's so great. I love that. I know they're doing some stuff in the Storybook Circus area as well, with some unique entertainment and things like that, and it makes my heart happy, because those are the things that have been missing for so long, and they help to make the vacation that much more rich. And you're right, yeah, you're not paying necessarily to go down there, to experience jump roping, but it's those moments that when you stop and actually try and enjoy your vacation, like those are the things that you're going to come back with and remember. And so I'm really looking forward to like being able to have some of those memories with Lucy of like, when we do go down there because we just missed the Cool Kid Summer by literally a day. So I know why they decided to push it back until the day after Memorial Day, but it makes me so sad, because I was like, I was right there. So I'm very excited to get to experience it, and I think it's a really great addition, and I do hope that they keep up with things like this in the parks as we move forward, and it just doesn't have to be a Cool Kid Summer thing. It can be a Cool Kid Fall thing, like it can just continue, and it can be
once you go back to school, there's no fun for kids. Like
I know, right? Yeah, exactly.
Just
nothing.
Yes,
no,
absolutely.
But you can have fun for the adults too. Hey, I can go out there and jump rope. I'm gonna fall on my face, but I can get out there and jump rope, so it's all good.
Yeah, Tanja says she wants to jump rope with him. I get it. I mean, the adults wanted to get in, and I knew better because I'd run that morning, dude. I'd have embarrassed myself because my vertical leap is about 2 millimeters at this point in my life, so it would have been ugly. So
I've seen Clarabelle Cow coloring in the middle of the, like, that's awesome. Yeah. I mean, seriously, just that you can come across a character coloring, that's, I mean, that doesn't happen. Like, that's the cool stuff.
Well, when I was in the Magic Kingdom too, and I don't know, because like I've been to Disneyland more, like I saw Peter Pan and Wendy walking two kids from they were walking all the way from the Peter Pan attraction. They were all the way past Philhar Magic. Like, you just don't see that stuff at World anymore, but I did see it this trip.
It makes the world,
I think they're trying more. Are trying to do more of that stuff at World. And they didn't get swamped, you know, like I think they always say like you can't do that at World because of like guest behavior, but people were minding their P's and Q's. You know,
they did a really cool thing. So I don't know, have you guys met the Mandalorian at Disney's Hollywood Studios?
I saw him when I did see him this trip. I was,
and they do a really unique thing, because I actually met the Mandalorian and baby, you know, Yoda, Grogu. And they do a really unique thing. They like have everybody like kind of stand in a line. And then when it's your turn, he will motion for you to come forward. And then you can have an interaction with him. And it's this organic kind of interaction. He'll talk to you, that kind of thing. And then he'll take a photo with you, which I really like that, because it allows for things to be organic, but also still allows you to do things like maybe get that photo that you want. I don't think he signs autographs, but still, like, it still allows for kind of a more organic experience. And even if they did something like that, I feel like that could work really well, because you get to see what you want to see, you get your experience, you get that conversation, and then you can move on to something else and not have to stand in a line and wait forever and, you know, that kind of thing. I really like that. I thought that was really good, a really good way of handling it.
That's a good idea. When I came upon him, because I was like just in a hurry, this was my studios day. I was just wanting to get a breakfast Ronto wrap, which again I had mobile ordered, and I was starving, so I was busting through, you know, whatever that little area is with all the shops. Right, I was coming in from like the Grand Avenue in, and so I was coming in that way towards the Ronto wrap pickup area. But the Mandalorian was right before you get there by the popcorn stand, and he was like talking to a baby in a stroller, and so but there were people kind of around there, but there wasn't a line at all to meet him. I think people were just kind of hovering around.
They had everybody kind of like
a stand. It was kind of like a circle around him.
Yeah, they had everybody stand in a line. But it was a horizontal line, not like a, you know, vertical kind of line. And then he called you up one by one, and that was your turn. And so I feel like that. Oh, even if they did it in a circle, I still feel like that would be a great way of
kind of like circled around him. Yeah,
handling it too. Yeah. So I would like to see more of that. I think that would be a really good idea. Yeah.
This is the way. All right, real quick, I got to tell you about Santa Contemporary, because, man, I was thinking about this, and I talked about this on Wednesday. It gave me so many Disneyland hotel vibes, and I love the Disneyland Hotel. That's probably my favorite hotel because of the nostalgia, just the you know, mid-century modern kind of feel of it. And I've always loved the Contemporary, but I've never stayed there. And I was like, oh, shouldn't open this door, because oh my God, I love it so much. Because I'd seen the pictures of the rooms, like with the Incredible theme, and I love Frozone. And of course, I was in like a 2-queen room by myself. I didn't even touch the bed that had Frozone like on the pillow. I slept on the Edmund Mode bed because I messed that one up every night. But I just left the Frozone bed by like alone because that thing was so cool looking. Because Frozone's cool, so that bed never got touched. But those rooms were so cool because like on the mirror in the bathroom, like there was a monorail like around the edge. It's so cool. Like, oh my gosh, those rooms are just sweet. I was in a garden wing room. Man, that room was huge. It had the big old couch and a table, and they had the little patio, and I could lay in my bed. I did. I laid in my bed, just opened the drapes and stuff. And then I could see the boats going back and forth over Wilderness Lodge. I was like, God, I'm living a dream. Anyway, here's the thing. And I was thinking about this. This is a great hotel for families because I had cool kids summer on the mind, right? And here's why. And this is why it reminded me of Disneyland Hotel, not just the aesthetics and the vibe, which the vibe is very cool, but being able to walk to the Magic Kingdom back and forth very, very easily and quickly, and to be able to ride the monorail over to Epcot back and forth very, very easily it's such a win for especially a family, but also me. That was great. I'll take it. But it was just so simple to get back and forth to those two parks if you're focusing on those two. And here's the thing. It's always been kind of hiding there, those garden wing rooms, like in plain sight. You don't think about them. You always think of the tower, which the tower's great. I think that's a splurge for a lot of people. But the garden wing rooms, a lot of times will go on a discount where it's maybe just a step up from a moderate. They're more pricey than a moderate resort. I'll give you that. But maybe it's a splurge over a moderate but man, you get a lot for that because you save a lot of time and transportation issues just right there. And I'm telling you what, great dining, amazing pools with a splash pad, slides, and you just cannot beat the location. So I was thinking, man, this has kind of always been hiding in plain sight, these garden wing rooms. We don't talk about them enough. So Pam, what do you think about that? I was sold on the garden wing. I loved it.
Yeah, I agree. I think, first of all, I mean, I think staying at the Contemporary, whether you're in the tower or the garden wing, is a quintessential Disney experience, right? Because it's one of the original hotels that was there. The monorail runs through the middle of the hotel. I mean, you don't get much cooler than that. But you're absolutely right. So because it is at the Contemporary, when you see one of those specials where you can save up to, it can be save up to 30, 35, even 40%, then the Contemporary is going to be one of the locations where you're saving the up to percentage, right? That it's going to be on that. And so because the garden wing rooms are lower priced than the tower rooms, it actually does bring it down to a very manageable price for a lot more people because of that. And I agree that also the location, first of all, fantastic. Transportation, we've already talked about. You don't get much better than that, right? But also I think the dining choices, like you mentioned, Mike, are really worth it because not only do you have Steakhouse 71, California Grill, you have a coffee shop in the lobby. You also have the Contempo Cafe for a quick service location. And there's a lot of good choices there too. So
and Chef Mickey's.
And Chef Mickey's, yeah. I didn't even mention Chef Mickey's, but yeah, think about that. The OG in terms of character meals, right? Chef Mickey's. So lots of great things. In addition, there are restaurants at the Polynesian, the Grand Floridian, just a monorail ride away. There's also a boat to the Wilderness Lodge, and that gives you more great options. So many things right there within striking distance when you're staying at the Contemporary. It's a great hotel. It's a great location. So many great amenities. And some of the best shopping, I think.
Oh my gosh, those stores are great. Yeah, you gotta be careful. You'll spend too much. And it's got like the little mini confectionery in the one store.
Right? I know. Right? Exactly. So the Contemporary has a lot of pluses.
It does. I was like, oh my gosh, I love this hotel.
And the air conditioning at that hotel seems to work really well.
Kicking. Yes. Kicking. And but then Steve told me this and then I could not unhear it, right? So the Contemporary has the tower has just like awesome like background loop, like playing like a Contemporary one. Yes. But if you do go to the garden wing, he's right. They have not changed that background loop since like the 90s. It was like Blues Traveler and Hootie and the Blowfish.
There's a lot of
Sting. And like Jewel. And like
no.
Jewel. Yes.
100%.
And I didn't notice it until Steve told me this. He's like, dude, he's like, the background loop. He's like, have you noticed? Because I was in the garden wing, right? He's like, have you noticed yet? I'm like, what? He's like, they have not changed the background loop in the garden wing since like the 90s. Right. And as soon as I went back to my room that night, I think Let Her Cry was playing by Hootie and the Blowfish. No! I'm like, shut up. And then it was like Blues Traveler. I'm like, oh my God. I'm living like in like, I don't know. There was like the station in the 90s in St. Louis called like Alice, like 104.1.
Yes.
I'm like, I'm listening to Alice. It's like, I can't escape it. That was the only drawback. I was like, oh my God. And I mean, I like a little Hootie and the Blowfish, but I was like stuck with like, like Blues Traveler singing "The Hook Brings You Back." I'm like, this is not the Contemporary. What's going on? Get this off.
And there's a lot of like Chris Bodie and like, yeah, I know. It's absolutely true. They have not updated that. Maybe I don't know why this is, but yes, this is absolutely true.
That is disappointing.
And I did not notice until Steve said that. Then I'm like, oh, curse Steve. Because I'm like, I cannot stop. Like, because every time like I'd turn the corner, I'd go outside and then down that, covered little canopy thing. I'm like, when am I going to hear the next song? What's it going to be? It's going to be Shania Twain or something.
100%. And it's a retro loop plays around the pool too. So.
Oh no.
That's the worst. Anyway, we're a little bit long, but like, do we have anything like for 5 minutes, Pam? Anything else we learned we're going to throw in here real quick for folks before we hit the weekend?
I just, I think that what we all walked away from was that I think so many people thought Cool Kid Summer was sort of just going to be an overlay of stuff that they already did. And it's not. It's so much more than that. And in some ways, just so cool.
Literally.
That, yes, it really is. It exceeded my expectations in this space for sure. So.
Yeah, it was. It is. I mean, it's obviously geared towards kids and families, but it brings energy resort wide, right? And the whole 100%. Thing is, it is interesting that it's only kind of featuring those 4 resorts: Pop Century, Caribbean Beach, Art of Animation, and Wilderness Lodge. I wish it was expanded to more resorts. I think it's kind of a test. I think.
I wonder guessing, if it is. Yeah.
Kind of to see like the reception, but I would guess. I mean, because we had this, small kind of little team down there to kind of check out all the offerings. And the thing is, when we got back together, because we had some meals together to kind of debrief and talk about how we can help our guests get the most out of their vacations this summer when it comes to all these offerings, is that, and most of us are parents, is that we said, God, Disney's really doing a great job with these offerings, because most of these things are just included in your stay. Like, you're coming down for vacation anyway. You're getting more for your vacation this summer, and it's not anything that you have to add on. It's just extra stuff. So I think, if you have kids, and it's weird because like we've said this for years, when you have kids of this age, you spend all this money sometimes for lightning lanes, and you have all these perfect plans for how you're going to see the parks. What do the kids this age like the most? It's always going to be the resort pool. It's just going to be swimming at Pop Century or, All-Star Sports. They don't care. And a lot of times, like Ricky just said, your kid probably, when you go home, like if you ask them their top 3 things they did, it could be playing with the parachute with Goofy.
Exactly. That would be one of my top things. I mean, I will absolutely be in there, and I'll be waiting for my chance to play with the parachute with Goofy. And I'm 40 years old. So like... And at that point, I will have had my birthday, so I will be 42. But, still, it's fine. Like, I am all here for it, and I'm ready to go. Like, let's do this. So, come on, Goofy. I'm ready for you. Let's go play with the parachute.
But I think the temptation, though, is for parents, and I've been there, trust me, is that there's a frustration that you want your kid to, like, say that the thing that they enjoyed the most is like, has to be like, oh, I loved riding the Barnstormer, or that I really enjoyed, the meal at Chef Mickey's, because it was an expensive meal, or, the Barnstormer was like, or my kid's first,
Bobbity,
right. Or the Barnstormer was the first official roller coaster. And if they say it was the pool, or if they say it was playing with the parachute or jumping rope at the studios, that you're disappointed, right? Because it was like, oh, that's such a like boring thing. Well, not to them, celebrate that they, whatever it is, like that's their thing. The next trip will be something different. But I think that, and I get it, man, because we all try to lay out the perfect plan. But just celebrate what they enjoy. I think is kind of the lesson that it's hard for parents to get, and I'm there. But I think it's just take what they love and love it with them, and have fun this summer.
Agreed.
That's what I'd say. All right. Well, hey, I'm just trying to figure this stuff out still. My kids are 29 and 17. Good Lord. Mallory got a chip in her windshield this morning she was driving behind a rock truck. And you thought the world ended. I'm like, have you not seen the Safe Life Repair, Safe Life Replace? I'm like,
they'll come to you.
They'll come to you. They'll shoot the little glue in your thing and you'll be good. Like, dude, the world isn't ending. If that's the worst thing that happens today, you're good. And free plug there. If you Safe Light, you want to sponsor us, we're good. BeOurGuestPodcast.com. All right, so
I could have used them a couple of months ago. Not gonna lie, I had a giant crack and I had to pay for that one all by myself. No insurance was covered on that one. That one cost me some money.
Oh, we don't need that. I don't want to hear that. Stop. You're making me sweat.
So get the chip fixed.
Yes,
if
we
are. It goes all the way crack, you are in trouble.
That's already happening. All right, don't forget the Magic for Less. We'd love to help you get down there for Cool Kids Summer, for super fun fall, or whatever it's going to be. Wacky winter. I don't know what's coming next, but Walt Disney World's always fun. That's the good news. It's always fun. Disneyland's always fun. Sailing with Disney Cruise Line. Oh my gosh. thebomb.com all the time. Adventures by Disney. The world is out there. It's your oyster. So we can help you plan an amazing Disney getaway. And the best part, no additional cost to you. Save all the money for the kids. They're expensive. Trust me. We all know. So check out all the details today over at themagicforless.com. Please also use our Amazon affiliate link. It's beourguestpodcast.com/Amazon. That supports the show with each and every purchase. So thank you for that. And you can become a patron. Thank you so very much to our patrons who are already over there. We appreciate you so much. You can support us just $5 a month. And for that support, get a bonus show called Mike in the Midwest. Coming over, we'd love to have you at patreon.com/beourguestpodcast. You can follow us on the socials at beourguestmike. For me, that's x.com, Instagram, and Threads. Pam is at TMFLTPam. Give her a follow right now. Also, give Ricky a follow at Ricky Nibs, RIKKINIBS. We'll have our live call-in show Sunday night, 7 o'clock Eastern, 6 o'clock Central. Want to talk about any of this or whatever's on your mind? Join Scott and myself for that. Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, Twitter, and Twitch for that. And finally, join us in the Be Our Guest Podcast Clubhouse. That's our Discord server. It's like a live chat / message board. We talk Disney 24/7, 365. It's free for everybody. Coming over, we'll give you a big welcome as you join us, and you'll be hooked within 5 minutes. It's so much fun. beourguestpodcast.com/clubhouse. All right, time to get out of here and let you have some fun with Dad this weekend. So happy Father's Day to all the Disney dads. And we'll catch you again on Sunday night. So for all of our friends out there, you have a good one. For Pam and Ricky, I'm Mike saying stay safe, stay healthy, and happy Father's Day.
You've been listening to the Be Our Guest Walt Disney World Trip Planning Podcast. If you have questions, comments, or would like to be a guest on the show, please visit our website at beourguestpodcast.com. Thanks for listening, and we'll see you real soon.